The answer to a lot of the challenging parts of life is to be more yourself. I guess that's the end of this video, so thanks for watching. I've been told I'm somewhat of a wise woman before, and one of the things that I've really learned throughout life and learned to embrace is that the more you dig into the core of your own being, the more you literally unlock purpose, the essence of life, the more you tap into everything that you want. Also, the more you are able to tap into the core of what you want, because sometimes you might be like, oh, I want a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but then you dig deeper into it and it's like, oh, I just needed to find that love for myself. You know what I'm saying? There are so many external solutions for the uncomfortable feelings that we have, and that can be alcohol or drugs. It can also be prescription drugs. It can also be even positive things like prescription drugs or therapy or friends, like spending time with friends or going to the gym. Like, positive or negative is not really like what I'm referring to today. It's more like sometimes, even if it is a positive outlet, such as connecting with a loved one or working out, it can serve more as a distraction from tapping into that deeper part of yourself that has those answers. The way that we get to that root is a lot of times just sitting with that discomfort. Sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Lately, I've been really craving a big change, and I could feel that I was ready for a change, but not really. Basically, I was just starting to become uncomfortable with where I was, and I sort of knew deep down, like, I have to be patient with this, but I didn't want to be. So I could just like make certain changes. So let's say it's a job situation. I could just like easily quit my job and get a different job or do something else. But I could tell deep down that that wasn't the answer, and the answer was to sit with it. And I was pissed. The right things, whatever, will come along as long as I continue to do what I want to do, like what I enjoy doing. That's not to say that you can't do anything. That, like, if you feel that you need a big change in your life, you shouldn't just be like, well, let's wait and see. Can't wait to see what happens. And just like take a backseat to your own life. Like, no, that's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, for me personally, I got these messages and signs that I needed to chill for the time being and focus on what am I doing in the present to get to this end goal versus focusing on where it is I want to be like in a year. Because when you focus so much on the future, you don't allow yourself to actually build the life that you want to, which requires certain actions and mindset shifts in the present. And B, you rob yourself of enjoyment and of actually having gratitude for what you have right now. Life fluctuates, so sometimes we can look back and be like, I actually missed that time in my life. There are really challenging times that I can look back and appreciate where I was because there were so many possibilities, and I'm nostalgic for that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I miss that. Sometimes, you know, you look back when you had fewer responsibilities and where the world is your oyster. But at the time, I couldn't really see that because I was so blinded by the things that I did not have. I wasn't focused on what I had. I've said this before in another video, I'm gonna link it up there. It's about manifesting, and I pretty much mentioned the philosophy that your job, if you're manifesting something, is to focus on the what and the now. What do you want your life to be? And then the now, as in what can you do right now to take steps in that direction or to have that life in the present, and let the universe, God, source focus on the when and the how. So it's not your job to say, I will have $2,000 in 2 weeks, because what if the universe wants to give you $2,000 tomorrow? You could be getting tunnel vision and missing opportunities and signs, and even just missing living and enjoying in the present, which is truly all we have anyway. And again, the how kind of goes hand in hand with the when, because for me, for example, like, I'm manifesting 100,000 YouTube subscribers. And I could look at my stats and be like, okay, based on the statistics, it'll probably happen like this time and blah, blah, blah. And I could set out a whole chart and whatnot. But A, I am not that type of person. I'm not very analytical when it comes to things like that. And B, I don't actually feel any pressure to get to 100,000. Like, I don't want to force that. Like, if I was so focused on I have to have it within the year, then I would have to surround a lot of my goals around that time limit. And sometimes that needs to be done. Like, I'm not talking about that kind of manifesting today. But in this case, I don't have a time limit, and it's really a trust exercise for me, as you have seen on this channel, because I want my audience to be totally authentically connected to me and to this community. And so I'm okay with it taking time, but there's also a possibility, like, I mean, it's YouTube, it's the internet. There's always a possibility that you will either get shoved to the bottom of the barrel in terms of algorithm, or you could be pushed to the very top. And I'm not in control of that. And that is a really easy thing for me to let go of. And again, some people I've seen, they have a much more direct approach to it, and I think that's okay. But for me personally, this is a way that I can exercise that trust, and not focusing on like the numbers and a time limit when it comes to YouTube allows me to personally make the most authentic content. That's just one example, but let me get back to the thesis of this video.
What happened to the original plot of the movie?
Which is to be yourself. If you've watched any other videos on my channel, you can probably tell that I am able to be very authentic, and that has taken a lot of time, especially on a camera, because it takes practice to be yourself on camera. Like, trust me, I get it. I did YouTube for like a year and a half, 2 years, a couple years ago, and decided to stop doing that channel because I didn't feel like it was aligned anymore. And so I wanted to create this channel, Misty Cubed. Subscribe if you like this kind of shit. But it took a long time to get to the point where I felt like I could talk to the camera as if I'm talking to you, my audience. And thankfully I am there, and it's gonna take even more time to get better. Like, that's just the nature of anything. The more you do it, the better you get. I know, shocking news. But the same goes for being yourself. And I think it's important that all of us really reflect on what we truly want, devoid of anybody else's opinions, influence, and that includes your family, friends, and the internet, and the world at large. Like, what really gets you going? Because for me personally, when I was younger, there was a big part of me that wanted to pursue professional dance. But a bigger part of me was like, I feel like that's kind of a selfish goal, because I wouldn't really be able to like make the world a better place by dancing, which is so wrong, by the way. That's so wrong. But I just felt like, for me personally, because I didn't feel that way about other people pursuing dance, but I just felt for me, I was like, you know, I have these other gifts I want to explore. So I have no regrets about going the path that I've chosen, but I do sometimes think that kind of the same with manifesting. We're looking at this end goal. So for me, I was looking at this end goal of like, I want to change the world, make the world a better place. And I thought that there was like just one way to do it, or a few select ways to do that. But that's obviously not true. You can literally change the world working as a cashier, or working as a real estate agent, or as a bank teller, or as a CEO. Like, there are so many things. Like, you don't have to just join the Peace Corps and work in a nonprofit. You know what I mean? Like, you can do anything and make the world a better place, and just take it day by day. Because if you force yourself into a slot that doesn't necessarily suit you, or that you haven't chosen yourself because of authentic reasons, that's going to come and bite you in the ass. Trust and believe. There's a very specific reason that you have the desires that you have, and it is your privilege to pursue those. It took me a while to figure that out. I mean, I'm 29, and I feel like I've really just come to embrace that in the last like 2 years, like a little over 2 years, to where I was like, you know what, fuck it, life is so short. And yes, like, not everyone approves of what I'm doing, and ultimately I'm the one that has to go to bed with my own thoughts in my own head. So I can't really give that much credence to other people. I can, but I don't choose that path, because I know deep in my gut, in my soul, in my third eye, I know so deeply that being myself and giving in to those deep desires that I have and trying out these things and ways of existing that call to me is ultimately the highest frequency way of existing in so many words. So I hope this little chat encourages you to at least try to get in touch. You know, the first step is getting in touch with that deeper part of yourself. Like, what do you want to do? What is it you want to try? I don't really even think there's such thing as failure. I mean, we just keep trying things, and sometimes they work out a certain way, sometimes they work out a different way, but we're always learning, and that is literally the point of life. The point of life is to experience being a human, to learn, to try things, to cry, to laugh, like all that shit is a part of it. It's silly that we spend so much time trying to avoid these human experiences because things like organized religion, sorry, I don't mean to condemn organized religion, but things such as that, or such as controlling parents or controlling environments in general, make you feel that your inner desires are wrong. The way that you feel in your gut is wrong, and that is for no one to decide but you. There are people who support you, and if you feel like nobody else supports you, then reach out to me. I support you, like literally I do. So let me know in the comments what it is that you are pursuing that is your true desire. What are some ways that you are striving to be your true self? Let me know, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. A big thumbs up! Leave me a comment and subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, do you like my 2000s tank top? Like, it's such a throwback. Literally got it from my sister's closet from like childhood clothes she was getting rid of. Yeah, bless. Bye.